The 10th of September, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua with Rashi.
Yes, yourself. Mayor has his son is an Avrei. Steve Silverstein also. What else is there?
I have a son who's an Avrech, I guess.
That's what I'm mentioning. It's as I say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Amen. Amen.
Anyway.
So what are we doing now? We're doing
okay, so I'd like maybe we can continue. Like, here we go. Go from here.
By the way, thank you for sending me that citation.
Right, you went through that Gemara?
Not yet. I don't have it. I had to order it. I don't have that volume, so I ordered it. It'll take a few days to come.
Okay, fine. I just want to do something over here. Yes. Okay. I think maybe we'll do this because this is actually a machlokas Rashi and those with him and other Mishanim. We had in last week's Parsha ki ha-mitzvah hazois. She doesn't actually comment exactly. I'm just trying to think, where should we start from? Maybe we should go over here. Okay, let's do Vayelech, a little bit of Vayelech. Anyway, for today, we'll have to see. Maybe I'll do something on the reading of Rosh Hashanah. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, the Kriyas Torah of Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Maybe actually we can learn the Akedas. That's actually something which was actually for the second day of Rosh Hashanah, but it's something which we don't normally get to. I tell you what, maybe already we'll start now. I'm going to get you have a Chumash Bereshis handy?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to get a Chumash Bereshis. Just 1 second. Give me a minute.
Okay. That's out of order.
Right, let's go. Okay. Yeah, so we're in Bereshit chapter 21.
21.
Chapter 20. Yeah, let's
Okay.
start with this today. This is the first, it's the reading of the first day. Okay. Yeah, let's see the starter. Chapter 21. Hashem Pokad Esara.
Okay. I assume you're looking at verse 1.
Right.
Hashem pachad es Sarah, kasher amar vayas Hashem l'Sara kasher diber. So Hashem remembered Sarah.
Now, you translate it as remembered. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I translated it as took account of. Let me just check how I translated it. Because, first of all, Kosh Baruch Hu doesn't forget. So, what does it mean? Kosh Baruch Hu remembered. That's point number one. Just trying to find where we find it. Just 1 second. I'm sorry, I missed it. 21. Yeah. Now, interesting. I translated it. First of all, I said took account, but also, and we're going to see this in Rashi. Rashi points this out. The eternal, or Hashem, had taken account of Sarah, as he said he would. And Hashem did for Sarah that which he had told Abraham. Okay? This first of all, let's take it to this into the pasuk. Let's go back to the pasuk here. Hashem pokad es Sarah kasher omar. Right? Hashem
took account of Sarah as he said.
Right.
And Hashem did for Sarah as he spoke.
As he had spoken.
As he had spoken.
Note, actually, there's a change. One, it says kasher omar. Right? And one is diber.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is two things. First, why is the change Asher Omar and Asher Diber? We're going to see in Rashi. Rashi's going to dwell on that, and Rashi's going to dwell on another point. It doesn't say Vayifkad Hashem es Sarah. It says Hashem pokad es Sarah, which means it's not a using those. Most times, when the Torah wants to describe something in a sequence of events, so then it uses the past tense. It takes a future tense and puts a vav in front of it to convert it into a past tense. I mean, most classic you have, Vayedaber Hashem Moshe Lemor. Hashem spoke to Moshe saying. What it means is, at that point where the Torah is narrating what happened, at that point Hashem spoke to Moshe. The Torah describes it in the past because it happened in the past. but at the point it was happening then. Whereas when the Torah wants to describe something which even at the time of narrating what was happening, it had already happened. It was a pluperfect, how do you call it? I think a past historic form. It had happened. Then the Torah says Hashem uses the plain past tense, and saying rather than saying Vayifkad Hashem es Sarah, which would imply that at that point of time Hashem took account of Sarah. It says Hashem pokad es Sarah. Hashem had taken account of Sarah. Okay, we'll see both these points mentioned in the Rashi. Okay, let's see the Rashi now.
Okay. Hashem had taken account of Sarah, etc. Samach Parasha zo lechan. The Torah put this passage next to the incident of Avimelech. Lilamedcha, to teach you, shekol hamivakesh rachamim, that whenever someone requests mercy or seeks mercy, al chavero, for his friend, v'hu tzarich le'oso davar, and he himself needs the same thing, hu na techila, he is answered first.
Right.
Shne'emar, as it says, v'yis palel.
V'yis palel. You can see the pasuk over here. It's just a few psukim before, pasuk 17 of the last chapter.
Okay. 2017. Avram prayed to God, and God healed Abraham and his wife and his maids, and they were relieved.
Right.
I'm sorry, and God healed Abimelech and his wife and his maids, and they were relieved.
Which means, Rashi explains over there, means their orifices were opened. So including that the women became pregnant.
But that doesn't support this Rashi.
Well, carry on.
The Samech lay, and next to it, V'Hashem pakad es Sarah. Hashem had taken note of Sarah, which implies shepekada kavar, that he had already taken account of her. Kodem shirapei es Avimelech, before he healed Avimelech.
Right.
Oh, so Abraham prayed that he heal Avimelech, and therefore Hashem healed Sarah.
Right. Already with the intention, when Abraham showed his intention to pray for Avimelech, so already Hashem brought So we say took account of Sarah and already decreed that she should have a child. Doesn't necessarily have to make.
We tried.
Sorry?
We tried this and it didn't work. We had some friends. The wife could not get pregnant, and my wife, thank God, had 3 pregnancies were successful, but we wanted to have a 4th child. So the women got together and they said, okay, you know what? I'm going to pray for you and you pray for me. And they did so for a long time. And neither of them had babies.
The Gemara says, Bahani kavshed Rahmana lomali. One can't go into HaKadosh Baruch Hu's judgments. Why HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs this way, that way. Certain people or whatever who I also know of a couple who married must be over 30 years. They so much tried all kinds of scholars, not just scholars, but all kinds of things, which and they're very special people. And what can I tell you? And Shem decreed that they shouldn't have children. You can't.
So what's the purpose of making a statement like this?
Because as in the case over here, that in many cases it does work. In other words, a person should try it because in many cases it does work. But if it doesn't work, the person should say, well, the Kodesh Baruch Hu said it's going to work because Hashem has his cheshbonos, Hashem has his reasons why Kodesh Baruch Hu wanted this couple should remain childless or whatever. So therefore, sometimes it's a very difficult pill to swallow. Very often it is so, but that's sometimes this is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu has decreed, and okay.
All right, so going on in Rashi.
Yeah, but that's an interesting part. By the way, a very important point is one of the reasons why we actually read this on Rosh Hashanah is because Chazal say, "But Rosh Hashanah nifkeda Sarah." That on Rosh Hashanah, Sarah was I'll translate it as we think, remembered. Now, however, we see from this Rashi quite clearly, and there's other proofs for this, that what that means does not mean that she conceived necessarily.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Doesn't mean that Sarah conceived on Rosh Hashanah. It just means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took account of her and decreed that she should become pregnant whenever the time comes. There's actually a machlokas. When was Yitzhak born? Okay.
Yeah.
Some say Yitzhak was born on Pesach. In fact, seems the consensus of the Gemara Min Hastam is that he was born on Pesach. But there are other explanations. The Gemara seems to imply that he was born on Pesach, even though there's a machlokas whether the world was created in Tishrei or in Nisan. And there's also similar machlokas whether the Avram and Yaakov were born in Tishrei or in Nisan. That's a machlokas. But everybody, according to the opinion of the Gemara, is a Bavli, Yitzhak was born on Pesach. Okay. Other opinions that he was not born on Pesach. But anyway, upon him, So according to that, the earliest, so if he was born on Pesach, that means his conception must have been at least 6 months plus before. Because according to the Gemara, such a situation, physical situation is, I don't know if it Bechlal exists nowadays. Even if it is, it's a very extreme rarity. But that a child should be born in the 7th month fully developed. We do find women giving birth in the 7th month, but they're preemies, right?
Right.
And they're not fully developed generally when they're born. That's not what we're referring to. When we refer to that, it says, for instance, Tamar gave birth to twins, Zerach and Peretz. She said that she gave birth to twins, and it says, Vayilet Kufa Sayomim. Okay, which the Gemara says 2 tkufas. Each tkufa means like a season. 2 seasons is, each season is 3 months. And then there's Hayomim, there's an extra 2 days. So the Gemara says that's the minimum amount a pregnancy can be, is 6 months and 2 days. So Koponim, if you're going to say, you could say that Yitzhak was, the Hashem took account of Sarah, that she decreed upon her she should become pregnant, she should conceive, and the conception took place a few days later. And therefore, 6 months and a few days later than that, Yitzhak was born on Pesach. Because there's a difference between Rosh Hashanah and the following Pesach of 6 months and 2 weeks. 6 months and 2 weeks. So it could have happened in that time, in those 2 weeks. Okay, alternatively, he was born in Tishrei, Yitzhak, then she became pregnant sometime later, maybe anywhere from 3 to 6 months later. Okay. Yeah. Okay, but I've just pointed out the pokad doesn't necessarily mean she became pregnant, but rather means that the decree was decreed upon her that she should become pregnant. That she would have the ability to become pregnant. That was decreed upon her on Rosh Hashanah. Okay?
Okay. The Rashi says, Kasher Amar, as he had said, Hey Rayon, with pregnancy. Kasher Diber, as he had spoken, Veleda, with childbirth. V'heichan he amira. Where is the saying? V'heichan hu dibur. And where is the speaking?
Right.
Amira, the saying, Vayomer Elokim aval Sarah ish techa v'gomer. God said, indeed, your wife Sarah, etc. Dibur.
Let's go back to this 1 second. That's going back to the beginning of Parshas Vayera. I'm sorry, no. It's actually in the end of Parshas Lech Lecha. Hashem appeared to Avraham Avinu and he told him, you know, you're going to have a child from Sarah.
Right.
Okay? That's where he had promised him that she's going to become pregnant. And what's with regarding the Dibor?
Haya Devar Hashem El Avraham. The word of Hashem came to Avraham. Bivris bein ha-bitsarim, at the covenant between the parts. V'sham ne'emar, and there it says, lo yirashcha zeh v'gomer. That one will not inherit you, etc.
Right?
Uh,
Meaning Yishmael is not the one who's going to inherit you, but rather the child born from Sarah. Say, now he wasn't actually referring to Yishmael, he was referring to Eliezer. Avram Avinu said to Kosh Baruch Hu, listen, I don't have any children, and the one who's running my household is Eliezer. And so he's going to inherit me? So Kosh Baruch Hu said, no, don't worry, you're going to have a child. Okay, V'hevi hayoresh misara. Kosh Baruch Hu brought the inheritor from Sarah.
Vayas Hashem le Sarah kasher diber, and Hashem did.
Who did he speak?
What?
Now, Rashi, you have to read the next word with the heading. Vayas Hashem le Sarah kasher diber la'Avraham.
And Hashem did for Sarah as he had spoken to Abraham.
Right. Yeah. Actually, the Amira was also. So it's interesting. Rashi, one thing, Rashi puts the two together. Right, basically, first Rashi says, as far as the conception is concerned, the pregnancy, and then kasha diber with regard to the birth. Where do you see in these two psukim that the first one refers to merely becoming pregnant, and the second one refers to the actual birth? On the contrary, the pasuk says in, I'm just going back to chapter 17, pasuk 19. It says, "Vayom Elokim, aval Sora ishtacha yoledes lecha bein, v'karasa shema Yitzhak." That's exactly what Rashi said before. That's the pasuk which Rashi quoted before. "Vayom Elokim, aval Sora ishtacha." That's the Amira. "Vayom Elokim." That refers to just as well to birth. Why particularly to the pregnancy? That I don't know. Unless sounds from Rashi that in order for Sarah to be able to give birth, there was two stages. There had to be a blessing, was a change, the chlal that she should be able to become pregnant, and number two, that she actually should give, they should be able to give birth to a live baby, a viable baby. That's what it sounds like. Don't forget, Chazal say that technically, physically, Sarah would not have been able to give birth b'chlal. According to one interpretation, she didn't even have a proper womb. So it could be that's where Rashi learns, even though the psukim both refer to the birth, but nevertheless, it required a double, shall we say, salvation for Sarah. Two extraordinary things had to happen. One, that she should become pregnant, and number two, that she should be able to give a safe live birth. Okay, anyway, we'll have to stop here for today. And I have to give it a little bit of thought with Japanese possible. Okay, we'll continue then tomorrow, Bezat Hashem. Okay,
Thank you.
fine. Have a great day.
You
All
too.
tooth.
Bye-bye.